And we're back with more NewsTalk Saga 960. So very glad that you could join us to start your work week right here with us on the Mark Petrone Show. And it is that time again. And we've been doing it a lot lately, I admit. But there is a lot of interest. I've been getting emails from people who say, hey, you know what? I didn't know anything about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but I'm learning a lot from that guy that you keep having on, Benjamin Dichter. And, Benjamin has been enormously helpful in being our guide through the minefield that is cryptocurrencies. People still wondering exactly what it is and what's the future. And they think, well, if it is the future, well, might as well get in on it on the bottom floor, because Lord knows if you wait too long, who knows? You're going to be buying cryptos at much higher prices if, in fact, it goes in that direction. Some people are predicting that it'll go to $100,000 in short order. Others are saying it's going to go down to zero. What's going to happen? Well, nobody knows for sure, but the long-term projections seem to suggest that this is the future. In fact, even some well-known investors, hedge fund investors, they are on side 100%. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk to Benjamin about. Welcome to the show once again, Benjamin.
Hey, Mark.
All right, tell us about this guy, Raoul Pal. This guy is a player.
The first thing I want to mention is I think I found my new online handle / pseudonym, which is that guy. Perfect.
Well, you could add that crypto guy. I don't know if that's taken or not.
No, it's a little too cheesy.
But I mean, if I do a show specifically for about crypto, I want to call it Tales from the Crypto. I don't know if you remember that movie from, we're going way back. Tales from the Crypto. Yeah. This was a really cheesy horror movie with a series of episodes that were all ended with, something bad happening to somebody. And so I thought, rather than Tales from the Crypt, just add an O at the end, call it Tales from the Crypto.
Or we could start two rival gangs, the Cryptos and the Fiats.
I like that. But I think the Fiats are going to get their ass kicked in short order. In fact, I think they are getting their ass kicked. If you talk to more and more people who seem to be all in on the future of crypto, including this guy, Raoul Pal, whom I must admit I knew very little about, but you're saying that this guy is a player in terms of the hedge fund industry?
Yeah, Raoul Pal was a trader for Goldman Sachs for many years, and then I think he operated their hedge fund desk, or one section of it. He also was involved in other, Wall Street investment firms after he left Goldman. So the guy's like
talking to Clive Owen, by the way.
Has freedom.
Not Anthony.
It doesn't sit well with China.
No, it does not. It does not.
It's never going to sit well with China. So they have their issues because that's the secret. That's the secret of success. That's the formula that just makes that extra thing. And it only makes up 99.9% of its secret. So China have an issue there.
And it's interesting to see India went that approach, the other giant economy, went that approach and then backed off. The court threw it out. The court threw it out. They tried to ban crypto. The court threw it out, said it's unconstitutional. So now India is the third largest adoption of crypto of any country in the world.
Okay, so that's the news peg right there. And sorry for taking so long to get to it, but at least we found out a little bit about what this guy's background. Yeah. All right, so India moving in that space. I mean, you would think that would be a massive development in the crypto world.
I mean, yeah, okay. Yes and no, because much of the crypto world, but the Bitcoin world, crypto world, don't really care what governments say, because for every government that tries to ban it, there's a government that's going to open the door, say, come on here and set up your mining, and let's grow the crypto industry here. And forget, national governments, just go to Miami. There are cities all over the world that are looking to boost their economy by getting into the crypto market. So, I mean, it's silly for them to even try to ban it, as South Korea tried to ban it in the past, and they have since unbanned it, and China's done the same. Whatever, they're just going to move to different jurisdictions.
Yeah, all right, but the story is, I mean, if I hear him correctly, is that this is the the biggest player so far. Here's this story as well related to India. Indian Prime Minister Modi's hacked Twitter account attempts BTC scam. Okay, so BTC, obviously that's the symbol for Bitcoin. Soon after Modi, this is the Prime Minister of India, soon after his Twitter account with over 73.4 million followers got hacked, attackers shared misleading information about the mainstream adoption of Bitcoin and 500 BTC giveaway. So somebody was going to give away 500 Bitcoins? That's wow.
No.
Okay.
No.
What happened here? What's that about?
Okay, so this had been happening for quite a while on YouTube for a good year or so, and YouTube was not exactly quick to clamp down on it, oddly enough. You had, and this is something for people who are new to Bitcoin to be aware of. If you go on to YouTube and you see, usually it's a video advertisement, a paid advertisement on YouTube, and it'll have somebody like Elon Musk or Vitalik Buterin or whatever giving just some sort of innocuous speech about Bitcoin, and it'll say on half the screen or a third of the screen, Bitcoin or Ethereum giveaway, send 1 Bitcoin or send your Bitcoin to this address and receive 2 or 3 times your money back to your address. So it's the crypto equivalent of the Nigerian scam, but on YouTube, and people have lost a lot of money. They look at it and they say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna send my money to that address, and I'm gonna double my money." Well, guess what happens? You send your money to that address, and bye-bye, you never see it again. So they were trying to run similar scams from Modi's account,
which scares the daylights out of people. I don't blame them. I mean, people don't have money to lose, and so the idea of buying Bitcoin, I think, is being undermined by fears that they're going to lose their money, either because Bitcoin collapses in terms of its price, somebody bursts the bubble, according to Peter Schiff, people like that, and others say, well, it's going to disappear into the ether. They keep hearing these horror stories, like the guy who lost hundreds of million, $200-300 million worth of Bitcoin because he forgot his password. Stuff like, those types of stories permeate into the public space. And I think they scare people.
Yeah, I think so. Like what's that phrase? With great responsibility, with great
great power comes great
responsibility.
That's the Spider-Man credo.
That's right. That's right. So just keep your passwords and keep stuff organized. It's pretty, and then don't give away your Bitcoin to some random address you don't know who it is. I mean, these are things that are pretty simple. But at the same time, people do fall for the Nigerian prince scam. So those people, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to help them. But anybody else who has some just general street smarts that understands that, oh, if I give my private key, or I send Bitcoin to an address I have no idea who it is, hoping for a miracle, miracles don't happen. That's just simple. So you do have to have your wits about you. The one good thing about Bitcoin is it's never been hacked, and I don't want to say unhackable because everybody then thinks of the Titanic. But mathematically, it's the amount of energy that would be required to hack the Bitcoin block, meaning they would have to hack every computer simultaneously that has Bitcoin, every node simultaneously that has Bitcoin, every smartphone on the planet that simultaneously holds Bitcoin, and all the miners simultaneously. Everything is going to have to be hacked at once. So the likelihood of that ever happening is highly unlikely. But what does happen is, whenever you put Bitcoin in a centralized exchange, in a centralized place, or if you give it away to these scams, that's how people have lost Bitcoin. Either that or they're just losing their passwords. And the guy, by the way, the guy in England who lost $250 million in Bitcoin, what did he have? 10,000 Bitcoin, 5,000 Bitcoin, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't really blame him because, he was a little bit loosey-goosey with his password. But that was in 2010. Like, nobody had any clue this would turn into what it was. Like, we knew what we wanted to happen. But would it actually happen? No, unlikely. But, you live and learn. And hey, here we are, where Bitcoin is now, being talked about by governments around the world. So it's not really his fault that he wasn't really, he didn't anticipate that Bitcoin would be taking over the world and he would need his passwords in the future. Like, I don't blame him for that.
All right. Take a quick commercial break. Back with more on NewsTalk Saga 960 and Benjamin Dichter and the Mark Petrona Show after this.
Let me go take care of this Florida sun. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I will end the broadcast for the time
No,
being.
it's okay. No.
Yeah, keep it rolling?
Yep.
Wow. Okay, wow. Hello, Twitter. You know what? Here's where I could like juggle. I feel like I should be able to juggle, or maybe have some plate on the top of a stick of a
Good. Welcome to the internet, because when it's when it's a live broadcast on the internet, one thing you can guarantee is it's not going to be smooth. So you're better prepared than most people.
Yeah, and I can talk about this story while you're away because okay, here we are. Okay, so are you ready to go back on the air?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right.
All right.
We are back with more on NewsTalk Saga 960 and the Mark Petrona Show to start your work week right here with us. And we're talking about crypto and including some of the horror stories. We were just talking about the guy who lost all his coin back in 2010. And I take your point, Benjamin, that at the time people didn't really understand and they were being loosey-goosey with their passwords. And this guy ended up forgetting his series of passwords. But here's another story, and you don't have to go all the way back to 2010 for this one. The search is on for $50 million in lost cryptocurrency after 2 Australian exchanges collapse. Okay, so this is a story in the far left Guardian, UK.
Oh, so it's not real. It's not real then. That's what that means.
It's fake. Implosion of online trading hubs highlights pitfalls. See, these guys, they're desperate to kill it. They want to kill it. Implosion of online trading hubs highlights the pitfalls of what one legal expert describes as tulip mania investments. So this is referring once again to the Dutch bubble involving tulips. Several hundred years ago? I don't exactly remember, but anyway, he's talking about Andrew Yeo, who doesn't know what happened to tens of millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrencies belonging to hundreds of clients of the collapsed exchange ACX. But he aims to find out. He's going to get to the bottom of this, Benjamin. In mid-October, the veteran insolvency practitioner was appointed administrator of Blockchain Global, the company that used to run ACX. And since then, he's been getting a crash course in all things crypto from the tech experts at the firm where he is a partner, Pitcher Partners. All right, so what happened with ACX? Any idea at all, Benjamin?
Well, what I like about the fake news Guardian is the delusional people who read that. They think they're anti-establishment, but they're the most establishment people in the world. Like, you don't get much more establishment than that. And that's part of the establishment that's been trying to undermine Bitcoin the entire time by running these scare articles. Look, there's an event that happens every January, I think it's 3rd. You'll see the hashtag running, not your keys, not your crypto. And the idea is to teach people that if you're not holding your Bitcoin, it's not your Bitcoin. Just like if you're not holding your cash in your home, if it's in a bank, it's not your money. The bank owes you the money. It's essentially an IOU, but it's not your money. It's the bank's money. It's the same thing if you're not holding your crypto in your cold wallet or warm wallet, whatever, that doesn't have where you custodial your own private keys. That's more technical. We'll get into that, another time. So if you're going to put money in, you're going to like a lot of people left a lot of money on exchanges. The most famous one was the Mt. Gox exchange that got hacked, and it's been going through the court system, and now they're finally, coming up with a ruling, and people are going to get some of their money back. We had Quadriga in Canada as well. And the reality is, if you're not holding your money, or at least a good percentage of it, you're not in control of it. Just like you put your money in the bank, you're not in control of it. You're in control of it at the will at the bank. That's why one of the things that really scared people in the crypto industry was, the hardcore libertarian people, when they start seeing all these governments passing, like universally all at once, every country across the world just decided to do it all at once. Canada, the bail-in legislation for the banks, that, we're going to have to, if the bank goes bankrupt, don't worry, because we'll give you an IOU for this useless bank. I mean, they're all bankrupt. Like, I would like to see, what do you think, Mark, what do you think would happen if 10% of the world right now went to their bank
and tried to take the money out
and decided to withdraw everything they have? How quickly would they all collapse?
Well, it would happen almost instantly. It would be like that scene in It's a Wonderful Life where
right.
Jimmy Stewart is trying to convince people from taking their money out, right? You can't take that money out because we got your money in Joe and Billy Bob's mortgage, and we got your money invested elsewhere. Rather than take a $250, why don't you take $25? No, I want my money now. And so that's a run. That's known as a run on the bank. And
that's right, because these institutions are fraudulent companies run by degenerate gamblers. So they don't have any of the money. They don't.
Tell me what you really think about gangsters or banksters.
But they don't have the money, and that doesn't happen with Bitcoin because everything is verifiable at any time, and it's publicly verifiable. You can look at the blockchain and see the disbursements of all the coins and the wallets that hold them. There's no such thing as a Bitcoin run that would cause it all to collapse, right?
I got to ask you about this re-elected Miami mayor. Now he's going to take his 401k, which is Canada's equivalent of your RSP, retirement savings, partly in Bitcoin. This is a guy by the name of Francis Suarez, mayor of Miami, receives part of his salary in Bitcoin with the help of a third-party payment processor, Strike. I think we're going to see more and more of this. This seems to be a Florida thing. Didn't we talk about the lady from Tampa who's also going to be doing something similar, taking her pay in cryptocurrencies?
The mayor of Tampa, as well as the mayor of New York, and a bunch of other smaller towns across the U.S. have mayors and city councilors that are starting to do the same. Senators like Cynthia Loomis and a few others in Congress have indicated their support for Bitcoin. So yeah, it's happening far more quickly than I ever would have thought.
Well, politicians are getting in. So this is certainly going to send a message. But I think it sends an even stronger message about the state of the dollar. I mean, obviously we're talking the greenback here, which is still the reserve currency, very much under assault, I think, internally and externally. Canada, I think, is even more vulnerable in many respects because it's not a reserve currency at all. And so one theory that I heard was that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general are designed to take out the 100 weakest currencies in the world. Have you heard that theory, that somehow this is all orchestrated as a giant cleansing of currencies that no longer have any real value? Have you heard that theory?
Yeah, I think that's a little too tinfoil because there's too many people in governments around the world.
Yeah. So you don't think, okay.
They care about their own interests. But I'll tell you one thing that I do know, and I'm sure you will agree with me. Politicians don't get into things that won't make them money. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes, and that's not always legal money. Sometimes
that's right.
That's how we get corrupt politicians.
Yeah,
that are no longer trustworthy.
Yeah, exactly.
But, no, I'm sure that we're seeing that there's going to be payoffs in Bitcoin. Now, you said no. Well, it can still be tracked and traced, but I don't know. I think if I was going to do something underhanded, given the choice between being paid in dollars or crypto, I'd be tempted to go with the crypto. I don't know. I mean, I realize it's. Are
you asking me? Hey, how can we launder money with Bitcoin? Is that we going to turn into the laundering money show?
Yeah. How do I launder cash? Let's do a YouTube channel about that.
It'd be very popular amongst.
Well, I don't know. I would think, and I have no doubt that payoffs will be made. Although I've never heard of an instance where somebody has conducted some illegal act demanding ransom or something like that in crypto. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, it's happened with it happened last year actually with one of these what was that extortion plot that they got Biden on, that they were, I can't remember what it was. It was the oil company, and they shut down their servers or something, and they demanded ransom in Bitcoin or something. And the reason is,
did they get it?
You know what? I don't remember. It was Biden, so right away I just don't care.
Yeah, so he would have got away with it. Certainly Hunter would have gotten away with it.
Yeah, I think Hunter was the one running it, to be entirely honest. It was on that laptop that apparently doesn't exist that exists, you know?
Yeah, well, don't tell Twitter about that because they still think it doesn't.
Oh, really?
All right, let's talk about Europe. This idea that Europe must ban Bitcoin mining in order to hit that 1.5 degrees Celsius Paris climate target. What a load of garbage this is. And I don't think it'll carry much weight at all, not in the crypto world or anywhere else. But sure enough, Swedish regulators, I guess they just love Greta out there. Faced with sharp rises in energy consumption, Swedish authorities are calling on the European Union to ban energy-intensive crypto mining. And we've seen this played out before. Other countries have banned it for one reason or another. Iran tried it. China has done similar acts, and it's always failed. I mean, will this succeed where others have not been successful, Benjamin?
Well, I think I might have mentioned to you at some time, the letters EU for European Union are the first two letters of the word eunuch.
Right.
So that's what I think when I hear when I hear Europe. That's the first thing I think of. But the other thing is, it's interesting. They're the ESG of is what they're getting on about Bitcoin, how much energy it uses. I'm waiting for them to apply the same standard to the traditional banking system and all those big bank buildings downtown in every city, and all the infrastructure that they use and all the electricity that those banks use. That, you know, you see these bank buildings, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, but they're fully lit up. But that's not using energy. But a few computers, that's the problem.
All right. Well, what about starting a company that helps people mine Bitcoin with wind and solar? How's that for an idea? And I bet the government will give you money for that. The Canadian government.
I think we're hitting on our first project together. I think exactly. Let's call Justin right now. Prime Minister Blackface.
Well, call Stephen Gibo. I mean, he's a criminal anyway, so he'd be all in. I mean, the guy would probably be petitioning his buddies and, like, you know, Chrystia Freeland and Justin, and just say, look, let's start a renewable cryptocurrency company in Canada where we only mine using wind and solar. What a great idea.
You know how psychopathic these people are, that you and I could sit here and call them blackface and the criminal and whatever. But if we actually called them and said, we have a solar project involving Bitcoin, they'd turn into our best friend. If we said, oh, and there's a cut for you, it doesn't matter.
In Bitcoin. You're going to get your cut in Bitcoin, wherever offshore account. You just tell us where to put it there, Justin. The funny thing is, somebody's probably listening to this right now and going, wow, man, you know what? We would get government money for that. And if it doesn't fly, hey, who cares?
And you know, we got to call it, we got to call it BLK, blackface coin.
Listen, I bet you that would be hugely popular.
Oh, yeah.
Blackface crypto. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. All and right, Stephen Guilbeault and Trudeau will be the first ones buying it. I guarantee you.
All right. Where do people consume your content and find out more about crypto?
Just go to newstalkcrypto.com. Click on any of the links in any of our videos, including the BlockFi link. There's also a link to Coinberry for people who want to buy Bitcoin for their first time. You can follow me on Twitter.
Yeah. And by the way, it's a little nerve-wracking using Coinberry. I have to say, I'm doing it with, you know, smaller amounts. Nothing, just to see how it, you know, how it transpires. And you do a transfer, say, from your exchange over to your wallet, right? Like
no,
Exodus?
you do the transfer from your bank
to your
Coinberry. You buy your crypto.
Yeah, that works okay. But if you then transfer it from your Coinberry to, say, a unit where you could buy stuff like Exodus, right?
Well, either you move it to Exodus, which is a wallet, we'll get into cold and hot wallets later on, or you move it to BlockFi. You click on the link that I provide, and you can earn up to 9.5% on.
You know what? We were supposed to talk about that this time, and we didn't get around to it. But let's. Can we make sure we do it next time, and you can walk us through it?
I'm worried it's going to be too complicated and it's going to get baby steps.
That's for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to try it though, right? We're going to give it a shot.
Yeah, we will.
Fantastic. All right, Benjamin Dichter, our guy, that guy,
my new Twitter handle. That guy. Find me. That guy.
The crypto guy whose audio keeps disappearing, but we do appreciate what you're doing and look forward to our next edition of this segment. All right, got to bid you farewell for this edition of the Mark Petroni radio program on Saga 960. Hope you enjoyed the show. It was an absolute blast bringing it to you. Let's do it again tomorrow, shall we? See you then. Bye-bye for now.